Good morning. Out on another little lockdown wander, and I'm also going to do a show as you brew today because I got tagged by Chris at the Blot Outdoors channel, or BLOT, the Bonnie Lads on Tour. Great channel. Put a link below, so cheers for that, Chris. I'll tell you in advance, it's not going to be a very grand show as you brew for reasons which I'll explain later, so don't expect too much. So if you saw my last walking video, just a bit of a tour around Stockport, this video starts more or less where that one finished, and we're setting off in the opposite direction along the Transpennine Trail, but heading back through Stockport and onto Reddish Vale Country Park. And it's an area I've never really explored actually. I think I've been down along the River Tame when I was a kid, before it was officially opened as a country park, but I've never been back since they've kind of opened up formal paths through it and that sort of thing. Looks quite interesting though, so let's see what we find. Alright, I've just made my way through Stockport, and then you just cross over the motorway and you'll soon pick up the signs for Transpennine Trail again. And we soon pick up the River Tame. The River Tame is one of the two rivers that join up to make the River Mersey. If you saw in my last video walking around Stockport, the clip of Lancashire Bridge, that is there because it's the first point where you can make a bridge over the single river, because you've got the Tame coming down in one direction and the Goit coming down from the other, and forming the River Mersey just in the middle of Stockport. River Tame was always the dirtier of the two rivers, and back in the day, I remember it with the foam right across it. You could almost walk across it on the back of all the sort of industrial foam that was still coming out of the factories around. But it's a lot cleaner now, probably purely because there's a lot less manufacturing that goes on. Looks like they actually might be doing some renovation works. Fingers crossed. A lot of these places end up as blocks of flats these days, and it's one way to keep these superb old buildings standing, because we've lost a lot of them. Very industrial, but part of our heritage nonetheless. It's actually very pleasant down here once you get a bit further away from the noise of the traffic. Yeah, it's nice. A bit muddy in patches, but that's to be expected at this time of year. Now there's a couple of options for this walk. First option is just have a meander around the paths in the country park and then make my way back the way we came. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to slip in ankle deep mud here. Or the second option is there's a bridge across the river somewhere up here if I can find it, and then I could carry out on the trail and pick up the Peak Forest Canal and head round and come back down into Woodbank Park via the River Goit. It's quite a long walk, but I've not made my mind up yet. I'll see if I can find the route. I can hear a lovely song thrush somewhere close by. Seems to have gone a bit further away now. Not sure if you'll see it. There it goes. J. Just coming up to a rather tall and interesting looking weir. We'll have an explore. Little vehicle. With the Weir thundering behind me, that seems like as good a place as any to stop and show you my brew. There's a little bench up here, got my sitting mat because it's a bit damp, but the reason it's not going to be a very grand one is because even though we look as though we're in the countryside, we are in just a little country park on the edge of or surrounded by a big town, so there's quite a few people about, and it just doesn't feel comfortable or right to be setting up a stove or anything. So yeah, obviously a lot of people have been out in local countryside and that sort of thing. Well, I don't really have that luxury, so anyway, what I've got is Maria's new flask to christen. So cheers for lending me that, Maria. I'll pour out a brew and I'll bring you back. So cheers folks, there you have it, just a collapsible cup of instant coffee. So yeah, sorry Bonnie Lad's on tour, it's not even got any whiskey in it. And if you look at some of the really posh ones like Kaz Outdoors, who it was like a Knickerbocker Glory or something more than a coffee. So yeah, sorry I've not gone to a great deal of trouble, but it just feels a little bit more appropriate where I am. But yeah, it's just a great way to promote getting outside for a breath of fresh air, to boost your morale during lock down and look after your mental well-being. So yeah, cheers guys. There's been a lot of these about now. I'm not sure who hasn't done one. I'm supposed to nominate 3 other people. Let me have a think. Right, so I've had a think, and I'm going to pick 2 local lads. Paul Jones. Paul does lots of local walks in this area, some great videos, and very good at, you know, guiding you around, and you know, so you can actually follow a walk from his videos. Paul, if you wouldn't mind doing one. Another local lad who does walking, running, cycling videos. I think he does cycling videos locally. Joe Terode. So Joe, if you wouldn't mind doing one. And I know they're not in lockdown at the minute, but I'm going further afield. So we're going over to America, and I'm going to ask Doug Kay if you wouldn't mind doing a show as you brew video next time you're out and about. If you haven't seen Doug's channel, really do recommend you giving it a watch. He does some fantastic camping videos, and it's one of those channels that I always think, you look at the number of subscribers he's got and you think, how come he's not got thousands of subscribers? His videos are brilliant. And we always have a joke in my comments about whether I'm doing enough chunnering and chattering on my videos or whatever, you know, especially when I put out one with that's a bit of a silent movie or whatever. So hopefully this one's got enough chat in it for you, Doug. All the best, mate. So there you go. That's show as you brew. Water's very deep and calm above the Weir, as you'd probably expect, which makes the woodland so much more silent. You can hear the birds a lot more. Look at that. What's the River Spey got that the River Tame hasn't got in Stockport? Probably a few million salmon. Having said that, they are starting to detect salmon coming up the River Mersey these days. Whether they're doing it on purpose or whether they've got lost, I don't know. Female goosander out there, it's just spooked and flown off up the river there. A couple of mallards on the other side. See where the recent storms have undercut the banks. sure where I'm heading now. Path seems to be cutting up away from the river. But, yeah, just follow my nose. Look at that. Pitched up at a little cobbled laneway. I'd imagine it's probably an access road down to one of the old mills on the river. See where it goes. It seems to be heading up towards civilization. I can see building up there, but I suspect it drops back down again into the upper reaches of Reddish Vale Park. But I'm up to about 7 kilometres since I started out from home, and there's a little path down here to the left, so I think I'll just take that and skirt back round, save the longer walk for another day. But it's been surprisingly pleasant so far. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, really nice woodland, and it's a weekday, so it's there's a few people around, but it's not overly crowded. But yeah, really sort of old mossy woodland. Very muddy, mind you, but as I said before, that's to be expected. I'll just switch the camera off while I negotiate this bit. Yeah, so I've just kind of done a kind of a loop round the river, round from above that weir round, and I've come out at the point I've been to before. It's just above a footbridge just down here, so I'm going to cross over the footbridge now and loop back round by the other side of the river. Badgers, I suspect. I suppose it could be fox, but I think it's badger. Alright folks, that's about it. About a mile from home, but I'll say ta-ra while we're down by the river still. It'll be about 8 miles by the time I'm finished, maybe just a bit less. Sorry it's not been of any more interest really. It's unfortunate, but it's all we've got available at the minute, so I'm just making the best of it. But I've enjoyed it. Nice to be out in the fresh air, get a bit of exercise, and listen to the birds and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been nice. And apart from that, I've sussed out a little bit more about where the Transpennine Trail leaves the town. So I left it at one point following the river and just took a path around Reddish Vale, but the proper Transpennine Trail leaves on the other bank of the river, and I'll maybe explore up there next time. As I say, you can meander your way up there and eventually pick up the Peak Forest Canal and skirt round and do a big circuit round. I would guess it's probably 14-15 miles maybe all told, but I think I'll have a look at that sometime before lockdown finishes. But anyway, thanks for joining me again. Hope you're all keeping well, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers folks, bye.